Hello, good morning, and as ever, your questions take priority if you'd like to send me any comments or questions through. But I've had a great week. Lots of things have gone really well. I've gone making great progress with the videos, and suddenly it's beginning to feel like the end is in sight for completing the whole series, which is great. I've got 5 new worksheets have gone live. I'll tell you about those. I've had some amazing feedback, which is lovely. And I'm a little bit more financially solvent. I'm going to tell you all about this stuff. Just getting a sip of tea because it's still quite early on a Sunday morning. Speaking of which, next week the clocks change in the middle of the night, Saturday, Sunday, before this live stream, which will confuse the timings if you want to tune in, and may confuse the timings for me. I will do my best to be here on time, which will be an hour later than you would otherwise expect. Something for the video on time that I hadn't thought of that I should probably put in. Okay, let's start with the videos. The first video went live last Sunday. That was on two-dimensional shape. It went live straight after the live stream. I enjoyed that topic so much. But I talked a lot about the polyhedron and building shapes, building tessellations, and the ATM mats that I used. If I've got any of those handy, I think I've put them away. I did some work with this polyhedron that clicks together, but I was lamenting the fact that I don't have any magnetic polyhedron, which has got beautiful straight edges and which goes together so easily. And I emailed the people at Polyhedron, the fabulous people at Polyhedron. What an amazing company that is. And there's a parcel arriving tomorrow. So next week's video, next week's live stream, you might just see me playing with polyhedron, magnetic polyhedron a lot. So really, really happy with that video. The next one on length went live yesterday, and the video on perimeter is going live at 9:30 after this live stream. So 3 videos into the shape, space, measure and data series. This week I've nearly finished scripting. I'm working on angle, which is the first video. Video 4 is size of angle and being able to measure and draw and just recognise and understand angles. And then the 5th video is on rules and calculations with angles. So they're the 2 I'm focusing on this week. And now I'm just thinking the extension task to the rules and calculations with angles I can do with magnetic polyhedron. So that's really, really great. And financing, creating all these videos has always been a problem. I was up in Cockermouth last week at my house, working so hard on getting it ready to let on Airbnb when I'm not there. And astonishingly, I've already had a booking and a group are leaving today, and I've had the first little bit of income. And it's such a relief because now I know I'm going to make this to the end of the year. There's a group who were on their way up from the south coast of the Lake District and had their accommodation cancelled at the last minute and ended up in my house at 2 hours' notice. And are leaving today and have had a great time. It's 12 Kurga on Airbnb if you want to book, but obviously you have to stay within coronavirus rules. I've already been dealing with cancellations. They were coming from a tier 1 area to a tier 1 area, so that was okay. I've got some workers from Kendal, 3 joiners from Kendal coming in on tomorrow through until Thursday, so that should happen. It's just such a relief. Who knows what will happen beyond that? We might be in super full lockdown. We'll just have to see. But to have got a little bit of income in before the super full lockdown is just a huge weight off my shoulders. So I'm going to be able to carry on with this series. I can see the end in sight now, like a marathon runner who's just hitting the final mile and knows they're going to make it now. Not that I would ever be able to run a marathon in a million years. Worksheets next. I've got some fantastic worksheets have gone live this week. Hello, if you're watching, please say hi. If you've got any questions, your questions take priority. The first is a series of 3 worksheets have gone live on finding percentages of amounts, and the amazing Jeff, locked down in Spain, has been working so hard. So he came up with this, and if you look at this, there's a reference at the top where you can see that a half is 50%. These are the percentages at the bottom showing that they're each 100ths. And you can see that each quarter is 25% and each tenth is 10%. On the first sheet, you've got some percentages of amounts to find where the percentages are quite simple fractions, just getting as hard as 75%. So you can reference them on this chart and really see what you're doing in simple steps. And there's no decimal numbers in those. So you could use those with any child who can find fractions of amounts, really. At the next stage, what's happening here is you've got some slightly harder percentages of amounts to find. So 24%. Here you've got this reference bar which shows you that you could find 25%, 1/4, and knock off 1%. Or you could do 2 lots of 1/10 and add on 4 lots of 100th. And it's there to help children work flexibly with their percentages. Different children might use different strategies, but they should be able to explain them all to each other because this is so visual. And then the third sheet is similar, but there are decimal numbers in this. And these are all the worksheets that I always wanted to exist and don't see in other schemes of work. So I hope people are going to find them useful and they improve their teaching. So that was that. That's the videos and the worksheets and the better income. And the feedback's been amazing. I've had several people messaging me privately. Some people put some nice feedback in forums, but a lot seem very shy to do it. And they've just been messaging me privately to say that these videos have totally changed their confidence as teachers, because now they can just watch a video and deeply understand what they're doing when they're teaching a topic. It's what people have always said to me. It's teaching grandma to suck eggs stuff, but nobody does it. They all come in with grand plans and grand ideas that are different and require you to chuck out what you've already done. And what I'm trying to explain, and the way that I'm doing it on YouTube so you can really dip in and take it or leave it, is all meant to be, here's a deep explanation of how to teach this topic, but you don't have to change what you're doing. Often people just would watch these and go, okay, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but that's just brought it all back to me because I'd forgotten, because I hadn't taught this for a year or two. But now I've got more confidence. And sometimes I find that what I tell people, they just go, why didn't I see that before? It was really obvious. But I just didn't see it. And then they forget that they learnt it from me or from the videos because it's just something obvious that's just out there and it becomes part of their everyday knowledge. It's nothing special. But it's hugely rewarding to get that feedback because that is what this is all about. And I had one lady contact me in a panic because she had an interview, and she sent me the interview spec for the maths lesson. I think it was certainly children under 7, and she had to do a maths lesson, and she sent me the question, sent me what she was planning to do, and I really hacked it to bits because I thought it wouldn't work. One thing was she was planning to use a particular bit of apparatus, and I said, have you checked that the children have used it before? Because if they haven't, your lesson won't go well, because obviously it's a short 30-minute section, and that's not really enough to introduce a new bit of apparatus with children who are so young. And then I thought she'd misunderstood the question, and so I explained it differently and made some suggestions. And she got back to me yesterday to say she took it all on board. She contacted the school, decided not to use the apparatus she was going to use, and puzzled out a lesson she was really confident with some backup plans, and went in, completely aced it, and has got the job, which is just fantastic, because that teacher's going to fly, because she's going to know when to ask for help. And hopefully all these videos will be there. So, if I can keep the live stream going and just carry on functioning, then the help will be too. So lots of news for me today. I know people are absolutely wrecked. People are still in schools. My heart goes out to you. You're doing amazingly well to survive, and those of us who've got kids who are at home are incredibly grateful for what you're doing. Just incredibly. My daughter has just started secondary school and she's had some problems, and the teachers have been so kind and made time to address them. I can't believe it, but they must just be hanging on for grim life because they've got no setting, because the children are sat in the same seats all day. The kids are going stir crazy because there's no practical lessons. They can't move around the schools. They just have to sit still next to the same child all day as different teachers come and go, trying to teach lessons without apparatus to mixed ability classes that they're not used to teaching. And it's just hard. And hey, half term is nearly here. You'll make it. Take care. Bye for now.